Okay.
Right. Good morning, everyone. Apologies for the slight delayed start there, but thank you very much for taking the time to join us this morning. Whether you're a Cashplus account holder or a business partner or an industry colleague, I think you'll be aware of the forthcoming name change from Cashplus to Zempler Bank. The exciting news we can confirm today is that our plan is for that to finally go live from middle of next week. So many of you will be aware that Cashplus has been established around about 20 years now, and 20 years ago we were quite a different proposition to what we are today, and our target customers were also quite a different profile to our target customers today. And in the early days, the Cashplus name was very appropriate. Today, we've recognised as a fully authorised digital bank, really focused on providing simpler banking services for small businesses. That's no longer the case, and we need to change. So with that in mind, I'm very pleased to introduce you to Ed Rossman, my head of brand, who's going to talk you through and give you a sneak preview of our new brand and what it's going to look like, and talk through some of the thinking and insights behind that. So thanks, Ed.
Thanks, Nick. So hi everyone. As Nick said, I'm Ed, head of brand and acquisition. We've been working on this for a while, so it's really exciting to be able to talk about it. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and we can kind of try and go through them as we move forward. So the first kind of question to answer is, why are we doing this? And any kind of brand manager, brand strategist would tell you that you don't change your name, you don't change your brand unless you have to. You know, if you think of a supermarket, you might think of Tesco. Why would you change that name? Why would you change something that people recognise, know, understand? And within that is the answer. People do not have much awareness of Cashplus as a business, and to build that kind of high level awareness would take a lot of time and a lot of cost, and it would be tough because the words cash and plus already have a meaning, and what had happened basically is it had become an issue for us because of that, and we needed to think about how we could start to build brand equity, because we want to grow faster, we want to grow more effectively, more efficiently, and so we felt that doing a name change and a rebrand where we start to create those distinctive brand assets could really help move us forward in a really effective way. So I'll talk you through kind of some of the thinking behind what we've done and why we've done it, and hopefully that will kind of give you a bit of an understanding of where we're going and get you kind of excited for the change. So How Brands Grow, there was a book written in 2012 by a chap called Byron Sharp, and looked at a lot of kind of scientific kind of evidence and research as to how brands grow, and he said it fundamentally comes down to two things, which are mental availability, how easy is it to remember a brand, versus physical availability, how easy is it to buy. And what we're going to talk about mainly here is that mental availability. How easy is it to remember? How do you build those memory structures that allow people to go, yeah, I need a business bank account. Oh yeah, you know, we want to choose you, basically. So that's what we're trying to get to. And for an awful lot of brand managers, kind of brand people, they just assume that their brand plays an important role in people's lives. And of course, it just doesn't. What people care about are their own lives, is their family, their career, what they love doing, all of that kind of stuff. And even the most ardent brand loyalists, that product is unlikely to be an important part of their everyday life. And I think we need to remember that. And so what we're trying to do is build those memory structures in relevant situations, relevant contexts, to allow us to come to mind kind of in that buying situation. And I thought there's some work done by some advertising researchers, Peter Field and Les Binet, and what they basically talk about is how advertising works in terms of increasing or maintaining sales and margins by slightly increasing that chance people will choose your brand. So it's not the people who buy 100 bottles of Coke a year and you get them to buy 101. It's the people who buy 1 or 2 bottles and you get them to buy 2 or 3. So turning that 1 in 500 chance that they'll buy a product into 2 in 500 is what you're trying to do. And the way you're doing that is by making that brand easy to think of, making it easy to buy. You want to create positive feelings and associations. You want that trust and credibility, and you want that kind of broad reach. There is a market out there of, I think it's 5 to 6 million small businesses, and there are, I want to say, kind of 60,000 new businesses formed every month. So that is very much kind of a mass market product in that sense. But you also want to make sure you're present in those places where they're going to be buying you, kind of whatever that might be. So how does our strategy fit into that? So the name we've gone for, which hopefully some of you have seen already, is Zempler Bank. So that is a made-up word, and the reason we decided to do that was twofold. The important thing was that we were able to trademark it. It's becoming increasingly hard to trademark names, and so being able to do that was a really practically important piece of work. But the second and perhaps more important piece was that in terms of that of building that brand, we believed it was easier to imbue a word with meaning than to try and change the meaning of a word. So because Zempler has no meaning, because we're not doing TV adverts, that kind of stuff, it takes more time and costs more media dollars to change the meaning than to build meaning into an existing word. So, if you talk about some of our competitors like Starling or Tide, you're changing the meaning of what Starling is in terms of a bird. Oh no, it's actually a bank. Or Tide, we're not talking about the sea, we're talking about a bank. So building that from scratch, we believe is easier and better than trying to change the meaning of a word. And Zempler came from the combination of simple and exemplary, because we kind of believe that's kind of the direction of travel for us as a business in terms of what we are trying to do for our customers. Our positioning, in terms of our brand positioning, what kind of space do we want to occupy in customers' minds, kind of in the market when people think about business banking. We settled on the term savvy simplicity, and we like the actual words because of the sibilance, because how easy it is to remember. What we mean by that is that we have an awful lot of experience, an awful lot of talented people that work really hard to make easy to use products, basically. It's that deep knowledge of the industry and our customers that make the complexity of looking after finances a bit easier. That's internal language. You're not going to see savvy simplicity plastered all over the place, but what it does is it enables us to have a kind of guiding thought that sits alongside Zempler Bank for what we're trying to do, and then to help us with that kind of work out of what are the brand characteristics, what are the criteria we kind of judge our messaging, our look and feel, all those things by. And the 3 words we got to were determined, because we always work really hard to make things happen once we've decided to do them. Savviness I've already talked about, and attentiveness. And attentiveness kind of comes from our call center, from the fact, we work really hard to make it easy for our customer to contact us, to make it to kind of show how much we care, and that's why kind of we want to be the bank of choice for Britain's small businesses. So that's kind of how our brand strategy has evolved, and that then feeds into a look and feel, the kind of visual identity that supports that strategy, positioning, and brand character, differentiates us from the competition. When I talked before about being memorable, you need to look different. You need to stand out in a positive way. But at the same time, we want to fit in with the fintech community. We want to be recognised as part of that. So that's quite a tricky balance to strike. We want to be in line with regulatory requirements. Customer vulnerability is very, very important. We need to make sure that we do everything we can to have that kind of fairness, honestness, kind of transparentness. There's no room to misunderstand what we're doing. And sometimes with some products like Credit Builder, it can be quite tricky to explain what it's doing. So we're working really hard to make sure all of that stuff works, and then that those brand assets can be executed consistently. You want it to be fresh, you want it to be exciting, but you want it to be consistent, so people understand who you are, and it builds those memory structures. So when they come to think, oh, I don't need a business bank, they think of Zempler Bank, basically. And this will take time. This is all a long-term kind of strategy to build the business, but hopefully it will help us do it faster and more effectively. And lastly, but not least, we want something that resonates with customers, partners, and employees. You know, I've heard people in the business say they don't really like saying they work for Cashplus. They like to say, oh, I work for a small fintech, you wouldn't have heard of it. You know, it's a thing like that. Whereas hopefully with Zempler Bank, there's a bit more kind of excitement around what we're doing. And just to explain, we thought this was quite interesting to share some of the thinking behind how we got there. So when we started to look, what is a colour? What is the colour palette we can use to stand out as a business? And this is not kind of complete, but this is kind of directional. What you can see, there's the red space is awfully crowded. The purple through blue is quite crowded, and then you've also got some brands in green as well. We've actually put the Wise 2 greens in there because they've done quite a good rebrand quite recently. And what you have that you can see is 3 gaps, and you've got the kind of pinky colours, the kind of yellows and oranges, and some kind of light blue, kind of turquoisey colours. And the reason those colours aren't used as much is because they're harder to implement, but that is where the space exists. And we decided not to go with the kind of pink colour. We kind of like the idea of it, but at the same time, our kind of customer base tends to skew slightly male, tends to be slightly older. It didn't quite feel appropriate for the brand. And equally with the yellow, it didn't quite feel where we wanted to be. It felt a bit kind of value based, and that's not necessarily where we wanted to sit, but we did feel there was some opportunity in the blue. And part of that is the kind of meaning, the semiotics behind the blue as well, because we felt we're calling it Zempler Blue. We feel we can own it. We feel we can build that recognition I've been talking about. There's a lot of positive associations with blue: trust, reliability, all sit in a sense of calm, and it also has that kind of equal appeal to men and women. So we've got this kind of bright Zempler Blue that we're really excited about. And then we've got a set of colours that we think work really nicely alongside that, with a very dark blue that gives us a really nice contrast, and a lime. And I talked a little bit before about distinctiveness. We can kind of pepper that throughout what we're doing to drive that forwards. And the secondary, we've even got a tertiary palette to kind of push that forwards. So the logo is designed to feel really bold and really iconic. So we went with capital letters. We've done a stacked logo to give it some gravitas and weight. This is effectively, although as Nick said at the beginning, we've been around for 20 years, this is a new brand in market really. So what we want to do is give that sense of credibility and trust. And the word bank itself really helps with that. So we're going to be really emphasising the Zempler Bank. It's not going to be Zempler. It'd be nice if one day in the future we can get to that point, but right now we need to be really focused on Zempler Bank. Like I say, we've got that kind of font. Tiny thing, we've had a little kind of kick designed at the end of the R. No one will notice it, but we think it's just a nice touch, and hopefully over time this will become a really recognisable logo. We have also done a symbol. So increasingly with mobile screens, brands need to work in small spaces. And so what we wanted is something that works, whether it's an app screen, whether it's a browser, any kind of small space, it needs to work. Now, of course, the meaning is not there yet. This will take time to have that meaning imbued, but in almost all instances, it should be seen next to the word Zempler Bank. So that will build over time. The way we designed this is by thinking about the star in terms of North Star, best in class, the plus, which is a nice reference to kind of Cashplus where we've come from, but also meaning better, and an abstract Z for Zempler. What we didn't want to do is just use the letter Z. What you see a lot of, and you can see a few examples on there with Monzo, with Metal, with Starling, with Revolut, is that they just use the first letter. It's harder to build that distinctiveness in if you're using that. So that's what we're hoping, is that over time that will work really well alongside the logo, alongside the color palette to build that kind of distinctive brand. The same with fonts. Obviously the most kind of famous is the Coca-Cola font. You see that anywhere. you know exactly what it means. I'm not suggesting we're going to get to that with our fonts, but we've got that kind of headline font that's really strong, it's really bold, and should help with that kind of strength and gravity that we kind of talked about. And we've then got some subheads. DM Sans as our kind of standard font, and it just means we should start to be able to have the guidelines that allow us to build a really strong brand visually kind of across all formats. Photography, at the moment we are using stock photography, and we really want to kind of represent small businesses that are moving. So what you can see here, hopefully are photos that look authentic, they look real, there's a sense of movement of real life going through in. And it's using kind of this kind of businesses that we like to bank. So that's how the photography works. In terms of tone of voice, what we kind of want to be known as is a bank that talks like people talk. Of course, we will be professional. Of course, we will be courteous, but we want to, you know, we're not robots. You know, we are conversational. We're not edgy. We're not cool. I think at the same time, sort of no nonsense. We keep it pretty simple. So we've got kind of quite a nice style that we're developing for our tone of voice. So what does all of that mean for actually kind of customer touchpoints? What will people see in the real world? Can you smooth the thing? Is that smooth the mouse, Patrick? Is that? Sorry, we're still on. I'm not sure if we're still on.
Yes.
We're still on?
Still going.
Still going, yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. So just to carry on, this is the website. So hopefully what you'll see with the illustration here is that it's a really distinctive style. I think we can all agree that this wouldn't look like any other fintech website. You can see the kind of lime green being used in the home screen. The illustration, we've got construction, we've got retail, we've got consultancy in there, and then you've got a kind of say hello to smarter, simpler banking that then highlights that you can quickly get an account, that we've got human support when you need it, and we've got that kind of security with FSCS protection. So this will, as Nick was saying, really go live from the middle of next week as things are going, and we're super excited to see it in the real world. Here are some card designs. So again, going back to those distinctive brand assets, we've got this dark blue for the business card. In some ways, you'd think from a brand perspective, it would be good to add some more distinctiveness to it. But when we did some research into what people expect from their business current account, it was really important that it felt professional, that it felt kind of serious in what we're doing. So what you can see on the right-hand side is the light blue is the personal current account card, the grey slate colour is the personal current account. You've then got the currency, which we have US dollars and euros in the lime green, and then we've got the business current account. So that is what the brand will look like when it comes to life next week. I think that's everything.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you for that, Ed. Yeah, as you can tell, we're very excited, and yeah, from our side, yeah, we're confident that for partners, this really means an improvement across a bunch of different areas. And if you could just on, and obviously, first of all, with the brand, a lot of, as Ed indicated, a lot of research has gone into it, and really careful consideration with focus groups and the like. So we've really consulted a lot of small businesses, and we're confident that there's no guarantees in life, obviously, but we're very confident that what you'll see is improved engagement with our brand across the board where you're cross-selling us. So now I'm obviously speaking, to the partners. Again, apologies for those that are not partners or not yet partners of ours, of course. But for those of you that are distributing or reselling our product, we're confident that you'll see, improved clicks, on your pages, improved conversions on the back end as well by the brand just being more closely aligned to small businesses. So specifically, what's going to happen for you? So Ed, if you can click on. So Okay. Yeah. So basically, there'll be some new collateral coming out. So look out for that. It'll be on the day of the rebrand. So which again will be mid next week, but we'll notify you. So there'll be new brand logos and imagery. You'll be pleased to hear we'll have a nice website for that where you can actually download the imagery. So nice little improvement there. We'll then also be circulating fresh copy as well. So for those of you that have content on emails, on websites and the like, that will be sent out to you to update. And then there'll also be new links. But the good news there is that your old links will continue to work and they'll just redirect, but we will send you updated Zempler Bank links. And then, of course, everything that will be updating next week is everything from the website to our customer comms, online banking, mobile app. So your customers that already bank with us will see those changes. One thing to be aware of, cards will not be reissued straight away, but new customers will, of course, get the new cards, and then existing customers, as and when they are up for renewal, they'll get the new card through. But yeah, we're not going to blanket reissue cards. And then we just say it's probably a good chance to just sort of refresh how we're working together potentially. So we'd strongly encourage you to speak to your relationship manager on our end. And just have a look at how you're promoting us. There's a number of different opportunities that you can see on the screen there. Yeah, if you're not already sending something to your customers, or you haven't already got content on your website, or you haven't already built us into your own onboarding journey, certainly a good opportunity to potentially have a look with that new content at how you can really maximize generating referrals from your client base. You can just click on again. And yeah, needless to say, of course, for those of you that do onboard customers digitally, there is, of course, the option of integrating with that API. So either affiliate link or by API, you can, of course, do all those cross-sell options there. And then just a few asks from us. So really important, if you please don't share anything about the rebrand until it's actually happened. Now, we won't send you the updated content until that point anyway, but if you could please just hold off sharing any sort of information about it until it's actually happened, just so we can keep a bit of mystery. And then please also make sure that you stick to the approved content. As and when we do send it out on the rebrand day, please do stick to that content because for compliance reasons, it is approved and signed off. If you do want to deviate, please talk to your relationship manager on our end. And if you do want to do anything that's non-standard, again, very happy to have the conversation. But it's just really important that any content you put up is always shared with us and has always been approved by your relationship manager on our end. And then in terms of, once the rebrand has happened, of course, if there's any opportunity to shout about it, whether you have good social channels, you send out newsletters, or even you have a news section on your website, be very keen for you to share that, of course, and very appreciative if you could do so. So again, if you want to discuss ideas with your relationship manager, that'd be great. And then finally, again, just a good opportunity for us to re-engage with teams on your end. So whether you're a card payment firm selling terminals, or you're an accounting firm, or even a website, we're very keen to always talk to team members on your end about the account and how they can best describe that to your customers. So again, please do reach out. Our relationship managers are always happy, even if it's just joining a team meeting on your own for 5 minutes to talk about Zempler, or if you want us to do a longer session, really keen to get involved. So please do let us know. And that's probably everything from the partner side. But yeah, we'll be in touch next week.
Any questions?
Let's see if we got any questions. I'll just check here. Please do fire them in. There are no bad questions at all. Anything for Ed, or if there's anything specific on the partner side. I'll just give that 30 seconds in case we do have something come in. I'm going to take that the talk was so comprehensive that there's absolutely no additional information needed, obviously. But of course, please do email again your relationship manager afterwards if there's anything else you didn't want to ask on the chat. But just give that another few seconds just to make sure. Okay. It looks like we haven't got any questions, but yeah, thank you everyone for attending. A fantastic turnout, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks very much. Thank you.